record on. Perfect. All right. We'll give a couple more people an opportunity to get on here, and then we'll send out the recording afterwards. For those of you guys that are in the audience already, welcome. We're super excited to share with you guys what we've built. Taylor and I and the Humaniz team have been working on, if you guys can't tell, shipping stuff very, very quickly. We're staying really focused on kind of what's next and figuring out where the ball's going to be, not where it's at right now. So all of you guys kind of know, they're probably on the call. We started with the recruiting piece of Humaniz, and now we're kind of starting to play with the other things, right? The onboarding functionality, the team management functionality, ultimately the training functionality. We're super excited to walk you guys through what we've built here. So Taylor, do you want to quickly introduce yourself? I don't think a couple people have met you, but I think it'd be good for everyone to get a quick intro to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Taylor Kraus. I am the Chief Product Officer here at Humaniz. I am Chris's business partner, friend. We've known each other for a really long time. And yeah, so I head up everything regarding developing the product here, all the coding, all that good stuff. And so yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and we're excited for what's to come.
Yeah. Taylor is the guy behind the scenes. So if you've ever seen Wizard of Oz, Taylor is the Wizard of Oz behind making all of the machines actually run and stuff. So it's awesome. So to give you guys an idea of what we're going to walk through today from like an agenda perspective, there's a couple of things we want to cover with everyone that's on the call today. First and foremost, I want to give you guys a formalized walkthrough of what this one-click agent onboarding is going to look like. We'll talk a little bit about what that looks like. Taylor's going to give us an actual demo of the product. We'll talk a little bit about why we think it's important from a value perspective. And then we're going to give you guys a look under the hood of what's next. Right. I think that any good company is always, again, trying to figure out where the ball's going, not where it's been. So we're going to give you an idea from a product feature standpoint. If you noticed in the title of this webinar, this is part one, right? We have more that's coming out here shortly on this same product line. So we'll give you guys an idea of what that looks like. And then if it all sounds interesting and you're already a Humaniz customer, then obviously you can reach out to your account manager, and we'll give you an idea of how to do that to get all this stuff set up. If you're not a Humaniz customer yet, I'll give you a way to get some time scheduled with us to learn a little bit more about what the solution does. Cool. So why we built this? For those of you guys that run real estate businesses now, I'm sure you've felt the pain of not having enough time. And what I mean by that is, if you're still involved in production, or even if you're not, and you've transitioned out of production and you're purely focusing on running your sales team at this perspective, I think something is evident and apparent, and it's that time is our greatest commodity. Doing things that software and automation can do, if you're doing them manually, you're essentially saying to yourself, hey, I'm comfortable wasting time, which is okay. We all have been there at one point or another in our lives, right? I still do the same concept. What we're focusing on here at Humaniz is figuring out how to keep our customers, which the majority of you are either team leaders or broker owners, how do we keep you guys in your zone of genius, right? Which is doing things that automation and software and technology can't do. Things like proactively coaching your agents, things like deal doctoring. I don't know about you guys, but regularly I got like a deal that was dead on arrival on my desk and someone expected me to pull the paddles out and shock it back to life. That's where you should be spending your time, is doing things that only you can do, your zone of expertise, your superpower, whatever that looks like, not doing automated things. So the first couple of months we were building Humaniz, the first 6 months or so, we noticed our solution created a little bit of a problem. You get appointments, you're ready to recruit, you do that. You've grown your team now from a headcount perspective, but the solution created a little bit of a problem. The problem that it created was you now had to figure out how, from an administrative standpoint, to actually onboard those agents. And looking back at my own process for when I was growing my team, it was a super unorganized like checklist, right? It was kind of all over the place. It wasn't really what I needed it to do, and it was a super manual, cumbersome process. After reviewing with a couple of different teams about what their process looked like and how they were experiencing all of this, Taylor and I sat down and went, wait a second, I wonder how much of this we can automate using technology. And that's why we're here today, because we figured out that things like independent contractor agreements and the forms used to capture information about agents and all these different things are something that we can build out from a software component to get you guys, again, focused on doing the highest and best use of your time and not doing manual processes. So what we're going to go through today is part one of our onboarding module. This onboarding module that we're building I don't want you to think about this as a, hey, it's just a way to keep track of information. It's automated. It's a tool where it's one click or a couple of clicks, right? Less than five. And you'll have the ability to set up pretty much your entire onboarding workflow inside the Humanize UI and make it to where the agent's the one doing the work now, not you. And what I mean by that is they're the ones filling out these forms. They're the ones filling out their independent contractor agreements and their W-9s and all the other forms and information you need in order for them to become an agent on your team. And they're all doing it in a centralized, streamlined portal, right? Where it's really simple to get into and access. So that's why we're here today. We want to walk you guys through what that looks like. And now Taylor's going to go through and give us an actual demo. Taylor, do I need to make it so you can share your screen?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And I don't know why another Taylor joined. I don't know what that is, but do you guys see that? That's
Yeah, I
funny.
can see that. You got a Taylor impersonator here. Let me.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but that's not me.
Okay, cool. Let's do that. Cool. And then let me make it so you can share your screen.
Cool.
Oh, come on. Advanced sharing, who can share host and participants. Go for it, Taylor. You should be good to go now.
Okay, cool. Let me see here. Okay, cool. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Mike Rowland for letting us use his account for demoing cool stuff. Appreciate you, Mike. You're awesome. Yeah, so I wanted to walk you guys through what we currently have here in Humanize and where we're going, because I think that's really important as well. But so Mike Rowland's actually a really interesting use case. He was one of the first people that came to us, and he was like, "Yeah, let's get this automated. Like, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean?" Um, and so what we did is we actually went into Humanize. We went to this new section in Humanize called e-signatures, and we set up all the agreements that he needs to get signed when he brings a new agent onto his team. So his mentorship program agreement, his part-time agreement, full-time agreement, depending on if they're a part-time or full-time agent, their W-9. And you could see we actually together built this full thing out in Humanize. So it automatically fills in the data from Humanize and gets the signatures from Humanize, which is really cool. It means a lot less manual work on his part because, what he was doing before was, and I'm sure what a lot of people are doing is, they were just going directly into DocuSign. They were dragging in all the fields that they need to get signed, and they were kind of building these documents individually, which is huge time suck. So what did we do? So we basically automated that whole process, right? So now, anytime that he brings on a new agent, it's really simple. He basically goes to his teammate inside of Humanize. You can also do this from the candidate section, depending on what your process is like. You can do it from either or. And essentially, you have this option now that says send e-signature. When you click send e-signature, it pops out a few different of your e-signature options. In this case, Mike Rowland has a mentorship program agreement, part-time agreement, full-time agreement, etc. And he can basically say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and send this agent a W-9. He can go ahead and hit the preview button here. It automatically fills in the data that it needs to fill in, and then he hits the send button here. So he's going to basically do that for each one of his agreements that he needs to get signed, which is really cool. Automates the whole process for him. Everything's already filled out. And then essentially what happens, you'll see a bunch of these test ones on the right side I was playing around with Mike Rowland when we were building this out. But basically, anytime that an e-signature document gets sent out to one of his teammates or his candidates, essentially what happens is everything is logged and humanized automatically for him. So he doesn't have to worry about, oh, did I save that document? Did I download that document? Do I have to add it to a Google Drive that's kind of like a black hole that he's not even sure like everyone has the correct permissions to access? Everything's saved directly in Humanize. It has this nice little audit log here, so you can actually view when the person signed the document, where they signed it from. This is very important for, God forbid you ever end up in a lawsuit or anything like that. And it's not, it's definitely, hopefully nobody gets there. But
Hopefully,
yeah,
but hopefully, but like it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right?
absolutely. I love that. I love that. But yeah, super simple, right? It basically takes his what was a kind of convoluted process, really streamlines it. And this really is going to play into our next product release, which we're going to have another one of these for that. And that next product release is going to be amazing because it's actually going to allow you to set up basically what Chris said, which is this custom portal that agents can log into. And you can actually assign agents specific tasks, including these e-signature tasks like, hey, you have to sign X, Y, and Z. But you can also add other tasks in there. And I know a lot of people have other things that they have agents complete. We can even add stuff in here like MLS transfer paperwork, like all kinds of cool stuff. So the gamet's pretty wide as far as what we can do here. But yeah, I mean, if you're doing this manually right now, there's no reason you should be doing that, right? It's like get that time back.
Yep. I'll add here. So Taylor, for specific use cases that you've seen for this now, so for everyone that's listening or everyone that's going to be listening on the recorded session later, to challenge you of like how you can apply this and what the use case looks like here. Most of you that are on this call, I just looked at the participant list, are going to be a combination of either team leaders or broker owners or some leadership role inside those organizations of some way, shape, or form. What I would encourage you to think about for a use case from this perspective, there is exponentially more for your agents to like do paperwork wise than just a W-9. If it was W-9s, it's the only thing, this would be the easiest job on the planet, right? But in most cases, what we've learned is there's like usually an average of like 20 to 25 different pages of stuff, right? In some way, shape, or form. So use case wise, Taylor, in addition to like independent contractor agreements and things like that, what else are you seeing people use the e-signature functionality for?
Yeah, for sure. That MLS transfer paperwork, right? When you're transferring from, one brokerage to another brokerage.
Yep.
Um, some brokerages collect like new agent information, right? They want to know like who your emergency contact is. They want to know, where you currently live, some other stuff. Yeah, basically anything that is a document that sucks to fill out manually, like we can add it in here. So
Yeah.
so yeah, the sky's the limit for the most part. Like obviously, like, and I don't want anyone to feel like, one of the things that we do at Humanize here is like, we will help you build this out. Do not feel
Yeah.
like you have to do this yourself. Like we will help you build this out. Again, it's the kind of thing that you build it out once, and maybe we make an update to it in a year. You know what I mean? It's not something that you have to do all the time, right? So it's a significant time savings. We do it once, you forget about it, you just use the automation, it works.
Yep. So the idea here is I just put, for those of you guys that are on here, in the chat, I just put an email address. This is our support email address. If you send an email to that email address with just, hey, I want to schedule some time to get my onboarding workflow set up, we'll hop on the phone with you and we'll get it set up with you. So it'll either be Taylor or one of our account managers or a combination of the two. And we'll actually white glove help you guys set this stuff up. It's really easy to do. The way I want you to think about it is instead of each time you go to onboard an agent now and kind of duplicating this, all you really have to do is set it up one time and then it's just a couple of clicks next time, right? So we'll invest the time now so that later we get that time back. Does that make sense to everyone? Cool. So from thinking about this and like how do I go and implement this, before you schedule that call, what I would do is I would take a quick what's the word I'm looking for? Inventory of what your onboarding looks like now. So what documents you need, what combination of them, how many there are they all in one place? And I would get that document package just ready. Because if you bring that to us on that onboarding call, we can get this stuff set up super quick for you guys, right? But the key is you got to have all that documentation ready. If you have an onboarding checklist that you're already using, even better, right? When you come onto that call, bring that with you because this thing of what's next is going to basically take that entire thing and make it into a task list inside Humaniz anyways. So Taylor, do you want to talk a little bit about what is coming next and the idea there and go a little bit deeper?
Yeah. I mean, that's basically it, Chris. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's taking your task list that you might have in a Google Doc or a Google form or whatever it is, and automating it through Humanize, collecting all the data into Humanize, having, step by step, hey, you can't go forward without completing this step sort of interactions with the agent. To make it really, really easy for all the data to be collected in one place, kept in one secure, safe, easy to access, solution for you as a team leader, broker owner, whatever you are. You know, and yeah, it's gonna be really cool because, you know, this is gonna open us up to some really cool further stuff, which is on our roadmap. We want to actually automate the creation and deactivation of user accounts, Gmail accounts, CRM accounts, right? Whether it's Follow Up Boss, Boomtown, Lofty. Now that stuff's coming a little bit later, but this is what is going to allow us to get to that place. So yeah, the early adopters here are going to be there. It's going to pay dividends. So it's going to be
Yep.
cool.
Very cool. So just to quickly recap all of this stuff, what we're launching today is the e-signature functionality, right? So if you have things that you need signed by agents prior to them onboarding with you, right, which is 9 out of 9.555 cases, like you're gonna have that, bring it to us. We'll get it set up in the system for you and make it all completely automated. So instead of having these things live in Google Drives and all over the place and in different places, it all lives in one centralized platform now that's one click, right? So if you have it, bring it to us and we'll get it rocking and rolling. From a next steps perspective and kind of what happens next, the goal today was to keep this short, clear, and concise, right? And just get you guys an idea of what we've built and how to actually get using it. The cool thing is if you're a current customer, it doesn't cost any extra to do this, right? It's something that we're just adding on as another thing of value to give you guys. From like a next steps perspective, again, if you do have questions around this or you want to get it set up, feel free to reach out to me or shoot an email to that support email address I put in the chat, and we can schedule some time to get this set up with you. From a not our customer standpoint, if any of this stuff sounds interesting, this is all we think about at Humaniz all day long, right? We're obsessed with figuring out how to make real estate businesses run smoother. And our mission is to make it more streamlined. If you guys have ever noticed, like 10% of the real estate teams do 90% of the business, right? And that happens because usually it's a matter of like trying a bunch of stuff, not running out of runway and figuring out what works and what doesn't work. It's a lot of trial and error. We think that by taking a lot of these processes, whether it's a recruiting tool or an onboarding tool or a team management tool like pipeline reviews, we take these things and build them out systematically inside Humaniz. We want to level the playing field, right? We want to give everyone the playbook that helped us grow a big, beautiful, awesome business in a very short amount of time, and give you guys those SIM playbooks, and not from a coaching perspective, not from a, hey, I'm going to tell you how to do it, from a, hey, plug into the system and follow the instructions and it will help you do it. Does that make sense to everyone? Cool. So I hope everyone has a good 4th of July. Stay tuned. If you are on this session or you're watching this session later in a recording, we're going to announce here shortly, like version 2 of this very quickly. Taylor, that's probably what, a week or two out?
Yeah, I'd say like a week or two. And I think, you know, Chris, I think we're going to keep doing these, right? These are a lot of fun, and like,
Yeah.
you know, hopefully it helps everyone realize like, hey, like, you know, I think this is for like any product that you use, right? There's always new features being released, and like it's hard to stay on top of stuff. And you know, I think we're going to continue to do these to make it really easy for like, hey, I know, okay, every like week or two, like, you know, Humaniz is going to do a little product feature announcement. I'm going to hop in. I'm going to see if it's useful for me, save me some time, and yeah, I'm going to get it implemented for sure.
100%. And the whole goal here is like, we're not building, I think Taylor said this earlier, but I think it's really important that he said it. We're not building features for this product in a silo, right? We're not locked away in a conference room somewhere going, hey, we think this is cool, so we're going to build it, right? We're listening to what your guys' pain points are. We're listening to our customers and saying, hey, what hurts and why? And is there anything we can do from a software standpoint or a coaching standpoint to help do it, right? So the more feedback you guys can give us, the better. I don't even care if you're a customer or not a customer, right? The more you can tell us from these types of interactions or getting in the software and playing with it or whatever it may be, that, hey, I like this, or hey, I don't like this. It's super helpful to us because it just helps us make the product better. And we're eager and open to the coaching from all of you. Cool. All right, sweet. Hope everyone has a good 4th of July. Stay tuned for part 2, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Taylor, thanks for coming on today. This is awesome.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys. Thanks.
guys.